Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for serious tarot readers. I say that every day because we have new people joining us all the time. And I want to make clear that this is not your typical tarot reading. First of all, we're focusing strictly on manifesting. I've done tarot for over 20 years, astrology for over 50. Astrology is the science of cycles. We can get into that at some point. It is a science of cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles. You know the cycles, you can figure stuff out. In fact, that one realization alone led me to say, you know what, I think there is such a thing as fate in our lives. That we can know with some certainty when good times will be available, when not so good times will be available. And very often, whether it's good or bad that comes at us, it's out of our control. Okay? It's like John Lennon of the Beatles said, life is what happens while you're busy doing other things. Absolutely true. Now, back to tarot. Tarot, from my expertise, and I've done this over 20 years, predicts nothing. I know there are people who pretend that it does. But it is the science of potential. What that means is, as opposed to astrology where you don't necessarily have to interact with the energy. Sometimes things just come to you, good or bad, indifferent, whatever, and you kind of deal with them. However, with manifesting tarot, you have to make a decision. And then you have to follow that decision with some sort of action. Doesn't have to be physical action, could be mental action, doesn't make any difference. But you have to get involved. So with that in mind, my job here, above anything else, is to inspire you to manifest. Create the pictures in your own mind. Not on a desktop, a laptop, a smartphone. Get the hell away from artificial intelligence. You got the real deal. Which is what makes you so scary as an individual. Because the puppet masters who are trying to take over the world realize that for as much as they talk up artificial intelligence, the human brain is still far, far superior. We can't recall the facts and information and data that the artificial intelligence thing can do. It can call up all kinds of data. But we have the capacity to not only change the storyline, change the information, but also to create. In our minds first, in our lives second. Why? Because of frequency, energy, which AI cannot, at least I've never heard anybody say it, transmit. Yeah, they'll grind out the numbers, sure, no problem. But that capacity for creation through frequency vibration, no. That's what makes you so powerful. And so that's why I want to inspire you, and I do it by being very honest. We're living through a shitstorm. And so we have a decision. Do we stay like the sheep we have been and suffer the consequences? Because we're going to suffer. Remember, they told you you're going to have nothing and like it. And they prove it every day. Or are you going to create that picture in your head and start to manifest a better, more positive, more holistic reality? Your choice. So the rainbows and the lollipops and those kinds of things that you get normally in tarot readings, I'm not here to do that. I don't care about fairies or, any of that other fantasy crap. You have real power inside of you. It's given to you. It's beaten out of you as you get older. Studies have shown that the genius potential of a 5-year-old, you take 100 5-year-olds, 98% of them have genius potential. You take 100 college graduates, 2% have creative potential. I mean, we're dumbed down. In fact, John D. Rockefeller, the man who shaped our education system, says, I want a nation of workers, not thinkers. It's simple. If you don't think, you can't manifest. No threat then. I want to number one, help you to develop to be the best human being you can be. Number two, I want you to be a threat. If we're going to survive as a species, we got to tear the whole system down, rebuild. That's going to be painful, going to be difficult, going to be depressing, going to be overwhelming. Too bad. Life is what happens while you're busy doing other things. Very often in other tarot reads, the readers appeal to people who, I think good thoughts. I think good thoughts. I don't care about your thoughts. That's phase one. Phase two, what are you going to do with those thoughts? That's why I want you to manifest. And that's why I say tarot is possibility, potential. I want you to exercise that potential. We only have 5 cards. I want a good, clear, simple read, something that you understand. The reading takes about a dozen minutes. Let's get to it. Middle card is the Oracle card. It sets the mood for the reading, and it is today, Truth Be Told. That's a hard hitter right now, because a lot of people feel the truth and they run away from it. They can't handle it. They're losers. And they're going to help bring down the human species. Poisoned water, poisoned air, poisoned food, getting away from nature, sex is arguing, race is arguing, atomic warfare. You name it. And the people who are afraid to address what we're going through, and boy, this next year is going to be a workout. Those people who are afraid, this is not the tarot reading for them. And this reading, by the way, is not going to appeal to everybody. Any reading, whether it's an astrological reading, numerological, or tarot, at best appeals to 10 to maybe 20% of the people. The other 80, 90%, you just don't feel moved by it. Don't worry. You will tomorrow, next week, next month. Just hang in there, pick up what you can every day, and then eventually that frequency is going to match up with you and you with it, and boom. That's what I want to do for you. So the idea of the truth be told, that's what you're going to get in this tarot. It's not going to be, again, the lollipops and rainbow stuff. We're not living in that time. You have the power. The mind, body, and spirit of a human being, to me, are the Trinity. I want to get those lined up. So we're going to do that with the truth being told. First, we're going to tell ourselves the truth. Here's the meme for today. It comes from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. It goes like this. We know they're lying. They know they're lying. They know that we know they're lying. We know that they know we know they are lying. And still, they continue to lie. I'll throw in one caveat. And you still have the sheep that want to believe the lie. But this is all about finally admitting the truth. Truth be told. Let's get to it. All the way to the left. We begin with the Ten of Swords. And this Ten of Swords, just look at the picture. Anybody who is conscious, who is aware, it's exactly how they're feeling right now. I've been around for more than 70 years. I'm an old fart. I cannot believe what's happened to society. I never would have guessed. Never would have guessed. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. 10 years ago, I might have kind of figured it out, come to think of it. Actually, since 9/11, I kind of had an idea. Whoops. But this is not the America I grew up with in the 50s and 60s. It's not. It's much, 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 much worse. It's dystopian. It's the stuff that you saw in a movie and you'd go, shit, that'll never happen. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not done yet. So anybody who is paying attention, you got to feel like the Ten of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas. You know that you've been lied to. At the very least, if it's not killing your body, which is unlikely because they poison the water, the food, the air, everything else, so you're ingesting poisons, toxins to speed up your death. Because they want to get rid of us. They want only 500 million people on the planet by 2050. That's what Bill Gates says. We got 8 billion. We want to get down to 500 million. That means out of 10 people, 9 have to die. So they're working there, and they're not hiding it. So the Ten of Swords really kind of shows, oops. Yeah, this is how it feels. Right next to it, we have the Five of Swords. You know that you've sacrificed your integrity. I love these people, and I'm not trying to get political. I'm trying to be philosophical. But I love these people who, when it comes to abortion, go, my body, my choice. However, when they were told to get vaccinated, they got vaccinated. And we know how that's turning out, don't we? So the idea of my body, my choice really doesn't hold up. That's not an argument. On top of which, you can genetically show that the fetus, the baby, is not a genetic replica of mom, combination of mom and dad. That's a different discussion. My point is, if you think that the government shouldn't be telling you about your body, your choice, you got vaxxed. Kind of throws that argument right out the door. And that's what the Five of Swords is all about. You realize you're feeling the Ten of Swords energy. You're feeling defeated simply because of the fact you gave in. You sacrificed your integrity. Just get along, get along, get along. Next card is the Fool card. My favorite card in the entire tarot deck. Why? This guy's not a fool. He has faith. Saying that you have faith is one thing. Your faith doesn't mean or amount to anything until you act on that faith. You step out in faith. And that's what the Fool does. Steps out in faith. This card really doesn't show it. I prefer some of the other cards that I have. Show him standing there with just a knapsack, standing on the edge of a cliff, just looking out over at the horizon, and stepping forward in faith. Saying you have faith doesn't mean anything until you back it up with action. The Fool takes the action. Why? Because he wants the Four of Wands. He wants the harmony. He wants the stable home. He wants to be connected to himself, his mind, body, spirit. He wants to be the human being he was meant to be. Now, that doesn't mean rich or famous or good looking or any of that stuff. It means, as I was saying earlier, I believe in fate. It's fulfilling your fate, your spiritual destiny. Not all of us are meant to be famous, rich, beautiful, talented. Some of us are meant to fling hash browns at McDonald's. Okay, that's fine. Be the best that you can be. Reach your potential. And manifest that you reach your spiritual destiny. That's what this is all about. So the idea is to quit lying and finally admit the truth. That's the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another manifested tarot reading. Between now and the next time you and I do this together, peace and blessings.